That's what life is the death rebirth is a repetition of patterns, and you realize that repetition is what creates a knowledge system, and then there's some transformation, evolution into something else, and then you realize you repeat a thing for centuries, right? And we in that century, as we keep repeating, it's just like because they've been fighting LGBT rights, we've been fighting feminism has been, we are fighting the same fights they fought in the 60s, and now.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Curating Dreams, a Creatives podcast. If this was typical Ghanaian television, we'll say all too soon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Crystal Tettey. As usual, I'm joined by
Akosua, Hanson.
And Poetra, Asantewa.
So usually we have a scripted, we don't plan everything we say, but we have like a format, an idea of the direction of the conversation. We have certainly a topic, but we're experimenting and we're learning. It's much like life. You don't always have a script for the situations and the context that you face. So we decided to go blank. In fact, we've still not decided on the topic for this episode. It might be called the blank sheets. Something you can contribute on curatingdreams@gmail.com. So yeah, this is blank, no scripts. And this is really how most of our conversations are in real life, Like we just met, it's a Saturday, we're having chips and water. So Charlie, Ama, how be?
Adeo, Charlie.
You didn't sleep much like last night?
Yeah, I didn't sleep well. Me and sleep have issues. I don't know what her issue is with me, but
Hey, you made her a woman.
yeah, I think maybe it's a he. They are usually devilish, so it's possible. It's possible that sleep is a he. But yeah, I didn't sleep too well last night.
Because you were working.
Yes, I was working, but when I tried to sleep, I couldn't fall asleep too. So like it took me a while before I finally fell asleep. But then it was already morning, so my sleep lasted for just about 2 hours. Yeah.
I don't know about both of you, but I feel like myself in particular, lately my sleep has suffered, and I don't know if it's just an overactive mind or if it comes from like wanting more out of this life, like not feeling like there aren't enough hours. We've said that before, but like sincerely, like maximizing every second,
Like the sleep is a cousin of death.
Yeah,
That's how you really feel.
Yeah.
So you never really allow yourself to sleep.
I think, and especially lately, plus I've said this to the inner circle sometimes, but like I'm not keen on long life, and I've been told to retract because like it's a gift, But sincerely, I feel like a lot of the things we experience are repetitive at some point, for me at least, and more so in the negative sense. Like how much can humanity humanity is even too kind a word, but like the people on the planet, how much
Yeah, like you bought us.
yeah, like
humanity.
What element of surprise is there at some point? You see everything reproduced in different packages, like the toxicity. I mean, like so what gives? This pandemic, for example, we've had pandemics before. Has the way governments react to it been different? Like really? Like maybe in terms of the names of policies and so on, yeah, but same-ish, different bucket. But yeah, Charlie.
It makes me think of this the myth of Sisyphus, where this guy Sisyphus was cursed to push a boulder up a hill, so it keeps dropping. Then you push it up the hill, then it keeps dropping. I think I first read that in Albert Camus' The Stranger. I think that's where the first reference came. But yeah, I mean that's what it is, and so the repetition of life may then start to feel, why?
What's the point of it all?
Yeah, like what's the point of it all? But that's the point of it all, right? Is
to confront.
That's what life is the death rebirth is a repetition of patterns, and you realize that repetition is what is what creates a knowledge system, you know, and then there's some transformation, evolution into something else. And then you realize you repeat a thing for centuries, right? And we in that century, as we keep repeating, it's just like, because they've been fighting LGBT rights, we've been fighting, feminism has been, you know, we are fighting the same fights they fought in the 60s and, you know, now. But I think there is a thing to this repetition, even though it's not easy to be in a view.
So within the repetition, you're saying there's some kind of evolution.
There's a meaning to it all. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll take that. Positive,
It's just me
positive
being hopeful.
mindset. You're seeing the glass half full, and I need to see it more half full instead of half
I'll
empty.
say I'm seeing the glass and seeing stars inside the water.
Ooh. You certainly are. But speaking of Albert Camus, what are we reading at the moment?
I'm reading nonfiction, which is, I'm not sure if it's not very light, but Know Her Name by Chanel Miller. I don't know if you guys remember the Brooke Turner case in 2016, the one that a 19-year-old boy fingered a drunk girl who had passed out,
yes,
and they gave him only 4 months, or was it 3 months? Yeah, they gave him only 3 months.
Only 3 months.
Yeah,
Really?
and then probation or something of that sort. So, and he's been listed as a sexual abuser. But yeah, so the girl has written a memoir, pretty much detailing how the entire thing was. And yeah, I'm about 70% through the book.
Yo, how's it like? How's it been? What are you learning from it?
Not completely unrelated, but I'm truly thankful for language, and the way that language can be used to communicate. I mean, it's been said over and over again, but it's so important to communicate, to be able to tell exactly what something is happening, even if you weren't in that moment or time. And somehow this happened to a writer, because she is a bloody good writer.
She's a good writer.
She's a good writer.
Nice.
And so it is well articulated. You are with her through every process, through all the courtroom cases, throughout the almost 2 years that the case was in court, throughout all that process. So yeah, it was the concept, I wouldn't even say the concept, but the book was, you know, about claiming her name. But first of all, we had to, because, you know, and I learned this from this book, when someone dies and we are yet to uncover the person's name, we call it Jane Doe. When somebody's in court and we are yet to reveal the person's name, it's Emily Doe. So throughout the entire period of the case, she was referred to as Emily Doe.
Okay.
And so afterwards, now she has to come and reintroduce her. And it was not just reintroduce herself to the world, but reintroduce herself to herself. Again, that I am beyond the assaulted person or the harassed person, and just detailing how the entire experience was like. It was both harrowing and revealing, and I'm not sure if there's something positive about having suffered
she found
abuse.
healing from what you're reading?
I
Healing
think-
and justice.
I think that it didn't come in the form that she expected it to. It didn't come all at once.
Okay.
So, for instance, when she mentioned something about, usually whenever there was a case, like a court time or like a court meeting, news reporters will take bits and pieces of it, tweak it to make it look some way, and she would go and read the comment section. And she would say, like, half of the time, some of the comments were good, but another, like, huge chunk, people were like, what was she even doing there? Why were you so drunk that you had passed out? And for the longest time, she would just go and read the bad comments. And that was what she received the entire time. But when the court case was over and a ruling was judged, her attorney gave her a bag of envelopes that people had been sending in support messages. But apparently when you are going through this, they're not supposed to send it to you because it may affect how you present in court, especially when you're a witness on the stand. Okay. So she didn't receive all of that to see that people were actually supporting her, people were encouraging her, people were standing with her. And so that part is some small kind of victory to know that even though there were a lot of people who felt like she was to blame, there were also people who were supportive, who did not think this is the line of reasoning that anybody should take when an assault has happened. So yeah, it's a very, I'm enjoying the book. I'm enjoying how it's been written. Yes, it is. Don't tell anybody, but I didn't pay for it.
What's the title again?
Know Her Name.
Know Her Name.
Yeah, Know Her Name.
Oh, wow, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
Me too. Yeah.
It's funny, I'm also reading a book that has to do with the legal judicial process. And it's a book I've read before many years ago. A friend of ours is in court. Before we came on set, we're talking about this very annoying to live situation, and we might probably dig in as well, but yeah,
I don't want to.
Okay, then no. But so I was looking at my shelf, and and I was just thinking about this situation, and I'm like, well, this is an interesting book to read alongside what's happening now, and in my mind as well, like I always tend to think that if something happens to me or to somebody I know that I witness, there's some kind of a call to me to do something, So I was just thinking, like, how can I know more about the situation? And that's why I re-picked up that book.
What's the book?
It's Presumed Innocence. What's the name of the author? I don't know. I sometimes I don't even look at the name of the author, But the title of the book is Presumed Innocence, and it's about actually an attorney, a woman attorney, who followed a lot of rape and sexual harassment issues, and was killed presumably by one of the people she put away. So yeah.
Fiction, non-fiction?
Fiction. But it's interesting and feels really true to life, true to real life. I mean,
Speaking of it being fiction, I'm trying to remember the country, but is it this week or last week? I think it pains me that I've forgotten the country because I just feel like I'm coming to say the wrong country. But it's a Muslim country, and this lawyer reported to, I think she won a case in which one of the men who were being accused of was in like, she won the case, and the man started threatening her and her sister. She reported the case to the police, told them that he's threatening us, he's in a danger, so like arrest him. They arrested him and released him. 24 hours later, he killed the woman's sister.
Wow.
So it's in court. Apparently he's been rearrested, but we don't know. So there's a viral video of the lawyer breaking down in front of what I assume to be the police station. Somebody was trying to translate, and she's like, I told you guys that he meant what he said, but he didn't do anything. Now that my sister is dead, what next? Yeah, so.
Charlie, in past episodes, it's been said that we've been on the heavy stuff. So can we do some lightweight, small, like what? I think we tend to think heavy stuff, the three of us in general, right?
Let's flow where we flow.
Yeah.
Let's flow where we flow. I'm reading The Alchemist. I'm reading it again. I'm really, really enjoying the wisdom, the language, the journey, the whole mythology that's built around it. That's what I'll say. And I think it's such a great time. It's a book on transformation, right, and evolution. And 2020, 2021 is that time, right? There is that in the air. So I'm just really enjoying that writing. That writing. You guys have read The Alchemist? What are your feelings on it? You haven't? What are your feelings on it?
It's been such a long time since I read it. I think it's an okay book. No, I do like
not
it.
Easy
it's
reading.
not.
You go back,
I think it's one of those books which everyone should read, or like I actually think it's an easy read.
It wasn't easy for me. This is my third time reading it. Now I'm seeing certain things.
Well, it's the kind of book that you can overlook
Yeah,
a lot of things. Yeah, you can overlook a lot of things, and I think it's because of the language.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it's interesting what
okay.
we can read and learn, and this is true for other facets of life, a second or a third time. Like I'm reading this a second time, you're reading this a third time, and you're still captivated by certain moments, and then there are some that are completely new.
Yeah.
It's So this episode, since it's blank, it's different from the other ones, and clues in the next thing I'm about to say. Should this be, in the event that this is like the final episode, perhaps of this season, or eventually, is there something that you want off your chest, or that I want off my chest, that we want off our
Is there
chest?
something you want off your chest, Crystal? We are here holding space for you.
I love tattoos. They look good on you. I love the butterflies.
So that's what you're trying to get off your chest.
I love butterflies.
Wow, that was a lot on your chest. Wow, you were carrying that trauma for years.
Someone go first while I'm thinking. No, okay, I have one. I think that for whatever reasons we came up with this podcast, it has been a good learning curve for me as a person. I find that speaking about certain things has drawn me to reflect even deeper on them, and also it's definitely contributed to many journeys for me. So I'm grateful for this.
Poetra.
I feel like I'm always taking things off my chest. So process someday in there.
Okay, so talk about how it is not to do that anymore.
Not to what?
Or to make it inward now.
I feel like the question presumes that somebody has listened to the previous episode.
I know, right?
So maybe let me see. What can I say?
And actually, if you haven't, the episodes are available 1 to 4. You're already late.
Gasala saying, what do you mean? go check it out.
I think I've always been someone who documents, or who tries to keep a record of my thoughts, my thinking, and my observation. And it's something that I am very happy about that I do. And it's not like I'm compiling it so that I can say gotcha, or like I'm compiling it so that I can show off. But it's just, we forget so much. I forget so much. And sometimes randomly I like being able to go back and say, 5 years ago, this is where I was at. Or to be able to see that there is an idea or a dream that I had 5 years ago that is still persistent now. It just reaffirms for me who I am, or what I believe in, or what I want to see. So that's something that I have committed to, both consciously and unconsciously, that I'm very happy about. Yeah.
That's deep.
Do you guys journal?
I do.
Do you journal?
I do.
Yeah, I think I've tried to now journal more in my art. I had a bad experience growing up where my dad went for my diary.
Me too.
And then actually had the audacity to ask me about it and why not. So then it just had to be hidden in the art. So yeah.
I had a phase where I changed my alphabets. I created my own alphabet.
Yeah, I also did that.
My dad found my code out.
Did that. I also did that. I feel like so many people have had these. So many writers had these experiences. Yeah, my mom read it, came and told me, yes, I know that you won't be happy with me, but I had to do it.
She said this. I know you won't be happy. Me, they will sit down. Why would you write this in your? Hey, it's my diary.
Yeah, my mom was like, I know you won't be happy, but I just had to do it, and I was so wounded. Because it was my privacy, and it took a while. Yeah. And it's just something that I couldn't have snapped out of it. I just needed to learn to reaffirm my own space and my own but it didn't stop me from writing. It just made me more secretive. Yeah, it made me more secretive. And then there was a point in time where I would write my journals, and then after the year, I would just burn it. But then later on, I stopped that because I wanted to have it for myself. So
kind of like keeping your history, right?
exactly.
Akos, anything you want off your chest?
I don't think I have anything on off my chest, but yeah, grateful for this space. I'm a huge loner, and y'all make me come out, to be here and hold space like this with you. So yeah, I'm
The
grateful.
respect is
Thank you.
mutual.
Thank you.
800%. Thanks, guys. So 5 we're out.